Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityurma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness unto light. Lead us from death to immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. So, Dridrishya Viveka, we got the essential idea in the first session. I'm glad to see you still here, not scared away. Yeah. Now, we will, before we pass on to the next subject, we will do Vedantic meditation and then go on. So we did some hearing and then some reflection, question answers, and now some Vedantic meditation. 6 techniques of Vedantic meditation are actually suggested in this book towards the end. What is this Vedantic meditation? What is its purpose? And how is it different from other forms of meditation? So, the 3 steps, hearing, reasoning, and meditating, they serve 3 purposes. Hearing gives us the knowledge itself. It's like downloading the knowledge. What is the text teaching? What are the teachers teaching? The answer to that question comes after you hear, after you study, after you hear. After we have the knowledge, after we have understood the text, we have read the text, we have heard the teacher, now questions may remain. I don't understand so many things. I have got doubts about this or that, related matters. That's the second part, the questioning, the reasoning. So the reasoning removes doubts about the teaching. The teaching itself has been acquired in the first part. The second part, reasoning, with doubts about the teaching are removed. And the third part is meditation. So what has already been learned in the first stage, what has already been understood in the second stage, is now assimilated in the third stage. Third stage is meditation, nididhyasana. You stay with it. Some people might misunderstand. They might say that, oh, so that's the important thing. Let me go straight to the Vedantic meditation. After all, spirituality is meditation. Why so many books and teachings and classes and lectures? No, it's not like that. If you go to the institute here and you're studying, I heard that Mr. Einstein was here. He studied in the institute here. So you're going and studying there. And the teacher tells you in the class, look, come to the class and listen to what I'm saying. Then think about it. Ask questions. You reason it out. You ask me questions. Talk to your fellow students. And then finally sit with it. You will get it. And if someone misunderstands, oh, you sit quietly, then you will get it. Then I won't come to class. I will not ask questions. I'll just sit quietly. Will I get it? No. So the third part, Vedantic meditation, is for assimilating the teachings already acquired and understood. And what I just said, let me put it in technical language, in Vedantic language. 3 kinds of problems are possible. One is called pramanagata samshaya, doubts regarding the source of knowledge. This is your source of knowledge, the Upanishads, the other Vedantic texts. This is the source of knowledge. But I have doubts. What do they say? What's the point? What's the gist of it? What are they trying to tell me? If I have that question, then what I should do is listen. Shravana will remove pramanagata samshaya. This is the technical way of putting it. Hearing will remove doubts regarding the source of knowledge. Okay. The second step, mananam will remove prameya gata samshaya. What does prameya gata samshaya, what does that phrase mean? It means doubts about the object of knowledge, about what is being taught. What is being taught is I am pure consciousness, or Atman is Brahman, I am Brahman, things like that. That's the central teaching. And I have many doubts about it. I understand that I am this body and mind. What is this Atman, Brahman? How am I Atman or Brahman? So doubts about how can I be Brahman? You're saying Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. I am of the nature of pure consciousness, bliss. I am Shiva. But how? I am a body. Why are you saying I am not a body? What are the reasons? What are the arguments? How? Help me to see it. Then the third problem will be Viparita Bhavana. Viparita Bhavana means contrary tendencies. Now I know the teaching, that I am awareness. And I understand it also. In what sense am I awareness? But I can't live accordingly. You're asking, I don't get the benefit from it. What about the peace of mind? What about the spontaneous fulfillment? What about the strength to overcome challenges in life? All of those things, they are not coming. If they are not coming, I am still, the Americans put it this way, you're still the same dude. The same guy, You have not changed, you're the same person. You're not an enlightened person or a Jivan Mukta, free while living, or a Buddha. No, you're just the same person. So, if I have not changed, if I'm not getting the benefits, and the benefits are not flowing, that is the third thing, assimilating the teachings. So that is the purpose of Vedantic meditation. To make it even more precise, in Vedanta, it's good to hear this, that Vedanta, they will say enlightenment, realization that I am Brahman. Where does it come? All three together? Or the first step or the second step? Does it come when I hear the teaching? Does it come when I've heard and understood the teachings? Or does it come when I hear, understand and meditate on the teachings? When does enlightenment come? And the answer is Shravanat eva jnanam. There are two answers here. One answer is by hearing comes enlightenment. The other answer is you can complete all three and then you are enlightened. Why from hearing comes enlightenment? It's a technical point. Where will knowledge come from? Knowledge will come from the source of knowledge. In Sanskrit, pramana. Pramana is the source of knowledge. So the source of knowledge is the text which tells us, it points it out to you. That's where the knowledge comes from. It is pointed out to you that you are Brahman. That's where the knowledge comes from. The rest of it, the argumentation, the reasoning, the questioning and answers, and the Vedantic meditation, they are for removing obstacles to enlightenment. They are not for giving enlightenment. Argument does not give enlightenment. You cannot argue your way to God. Even meditation does not give enlightenment according to this approach. Meditation is for assimilating the already acquired knowledge. It's only after reasoning and meditation, then the knowledge which has been acquired by listening, that takes root, that flowers. But these philosophers whom I am quoting, they will say that, notice, when you are enlightened, you will realize, technically speaking, this enlightenment is the result of the teaching which you got from the teachers or from the texts. Argumentation, meditation were subsidiary. They helped. This is one. The second approach, one and second, why I'm saying is, there's one sub-school of Advaita Vedanta called the Vivarana school. So that school, they say that from teaching, from hearing comes knowledge. There's another school, the Bhamati school of Vachaspati Mishra. That's a sub-school of Advaita Vedanta. They say, no, all three together. Hearing, thinking, meditating. Whatever it is, it's a technical point. In any case, whichever school you subscribe to, it's a technical difference. We have to do all three. We have to listen, study it. We have to understand it thoroughly without any cloudiness, any kind of doubt. And we have to stay with that understanding. Staying with that understanding is Vedantic meditation. Staying with understanding. That means the implication is you cannot directly jump to Vedantic meditation. It would be like the student who enrolls in the institute and says, I have to sit quietly, then I understand what is being taught. So I won't go to the class, I won't read the textbook, I won't think about it, just sit quietly. It won't happen. So first seed the mind with these teachings, reason it so that it's absolutely clear, stay with the clarity. That is Vedantic meditation. All right, enough said. This should distinguish it from other kinds of meditation. For example, in yoga, meditation is yogaschitta vritti nirodha. In yoga, the silencing of the movements of the mind is yoga. It's Patanjali Yoga, the second sutra. This is not silencing the movements of the mind. If you silence the movements of the mind, you will not get an enlightenment. Again, a technical point. Avidya, ignorance, is removed by knowledge in this view. Ignorance is removed by knowledge, not by sitting quietly. Ignorance is removed by knowledge, and knowledge comes through this investigation. All knowledge comes from questioning, investigation. So this self-investigation leads to knowledge, and then you have the aha moment. If you settle the mind down completely and sit quietly, nothing. This is this approach. These are ancient rivalries. The Patanjali Yoga school and the Advaita Vedanta school, these are minor rivalries, but in interesting points. Does enlightenment come from meditation? Does enlightenment come from inquiry? Practical answer, both will say all of these are necessary. But which is the exact cause of enlightenment? Is it study, inquiry, or is it meditation? The Vedanta school will say the inquiry leads to knowledge. The Yoga school will say quietening the mind in meditation leads to enlightenment. I met this young yogi in the Himalayas who was living in a cave from Nepal. He was living in a cave meditating. And I asked him, what are you trying to attain? He's in Hindi, we spoke in Hindi. He said, I'm trying to attain samadhi. And then I asked, because of my predilection for Vedanta, I asked him, Aapko Vedanta kaisa lagta hai? How do you like Vedanta? What do you think of Vedanta? And his answer was a typical yogic answer. बहुत बात करते हैं, अनुभूति नहीं है उनमें. They talk a lot. They have all these lectures and books and stuff. They don't have realization. So that's a yogic criticism of Vedanta. So now Vedantic meditation. We have already got the basic teaching. What's the teaching? I am witness consciousness. How did you come to that conclusion? Well, start. Take a look at something. Notice that it's an object. The eyes are the seer. It is the seen, eyes are the seer. Now turn your attention to the eyes. Notice the eyes are also experienced. The mind is the experiencer or the subject or the knower. Eyes are the seen and the mind is the seer. Turn your attention to the mind. Thoughts, sensations, memories. Those are also experienced. So the mind is the seen. I am the seer. I am the witness consciousness. And I am never seen. This is the teaching. Now, how do you make it a living assimilation of the teaching? How do you make it a living reality? In between, let us assume we have gone through all the arguments and we have a basic grasp on what is being said here. Now, 6 techniques of meditation. We will see 3. This is from verse number 24. Kamadya chittaga drishya tat sakshittvena chetanam dhyaye drishyānuvidhoyam samadhi savikalpakaha. What does it mean? Desire, etc., centered in the mind are to be treated as cognizable objects. Meditate on consciousness as their witness. This is what is called savikalpaka samadhi, associated with cognizable objects. You might say, makes no sense whatsoever. What does it? It's actually a very fine translation by Swami Nikhilanandaji. It's not all that difficult. It's pretty simple actually. And we must try it actually right now. This is the beauty of it. You can try it anytime. Remember, nose, like that. It says, whatever comes to mind, any thought that comes to mind, any thought, any memory, any desire, any sensation, any perception, whatever comes to mind. If nothing comes to mind, that's also fine. Use it to note that I am the seer and it is the seen. This thought is the seen and I am the seer. Drishya, chittaga drishya. In the chitta, in the mind, all of us, we experience our minds, and in the mind, there are these movements, there are these things arising, thoughts, memories, ideas. Whatever comes, you use that to turn inwards that I am the witness. Don't try to be the witness. If you try to be the witness, it's a good practice. I'm breathing in, breathing out, I am the witness. Good practice, but that's not what is being taught here. What is taught here is not the artificial witness, like artificial intelligence. Not the artificial witness. It is the choiceless awareness, which whether you try to be or you not try to be, doesn't make any difference. We are choicelessly that. It is to notice that, to draw our attention back to awareness itself. Right now our attention is flowing outwards into the world. I see and I hear and all of this. Then our attention is turned to the instrument of the senses, like the eyes. Then from the eyes to the mind itself, the inner processing capacity. From there to the witness of the mind, which you are, which I am. So it says, Kamadya chittaga drishya. There's so much depth here. I mean, how much can I say? For example, notice the difference between a yogic meditation and this one. In the yogic meditation, there is one kind of meditation in which you focus on a deity. A mantra will be given, visualize a deity and focus on that. What about other thoughts? Other thoughts will keep coming. You bring your mind back to the deity and the mantra. That's one kind of meditation. There's another kind of meditation, much simpler. Buddhists practice the breath meditation. See, that point again in Buddhist meditation also is not the breath. The breath is used as an anchor for our attention. Our attention goes here and there. You use the breath as an anchor. The breath is always there, naturally there. So breathing in, I'm aware of breathing in. Breathing out, I'm aware of breathing out. Not as an event, as a continuous process. Start from the inward turn of the breath as it flows in continuously. You may keep it here, attention, or you may keep it at the chest or at the belly. As the air fills in, you keep your attention there, breathing in, breathing in. And then you see the turning of the breath as it begins to come out, breathing out, and keep it there. What about other thoughts? Other thoughts will come. Bring your attention back to the breath. You notice in both cases, you're trying to bring your attention back to one thing, whether it's the breath or a mantra or a visualization of a deity, whatever it is. That's a devotional meditation or a yogic meditation. And the purpose of this yogic meditation in Patanjali Yoga will be ultimately, so here there is bifurcation. The devotional meditations will take you towards the visualization of the deity, a living experience of divinity in that form. Ishta Devata, which you visualize. That's one track of meditation. Tantric meditation will take you there. The yogic meditation will take up one thing, like a mantra, like Om or something, and then from many vrittis, many movements of the mind to a focused one vritti again and again and again. This is called dharana. And when this becomes steady, it is called dhyana. Then only it is meditation. Not easy. It is the seventh limb of eight-limbed yoga. Ashtanga yoga. And what is that? Yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, then dharana, then dhyana. Dhyana is seventh. Then only samadhi. So from there, what you go from there, you go to settling the mind and then quietening it and stilling it. So yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodha. That's yogic samadhi. Distinguished from these samadhis is this one. What are you doing here? You are continuously using whatever comes to the mind. You are not trying to say that, don't think those things, only Om Namah Shivaya. No. Or don't think of anything, just follow the breath. No. Whatever comes to your mind, Shiva can come, God can come to your mind, dog can come to your mind, reverse it. Mind can go to the breath, mind can go to 100 different things outside or inside. Whatever comes, all of that we notice, it's shining in awareness. I am awareness, drashta. I am the sakshi to which this is appearing. Whatever appears. Just like this light is shining. Whatever we bring into this room or take out of this room, they are being illumined by the same light. I am that light. Do you see the difference between this approach and... There is one way of meditating where you rearrange the vrittis. All sorts of worldly thoughts were crowding around. I replaced it with a divine thought. Shiva is there. Name of Shiva, Om Namah Shivaya. That's one way. Or another way is, all sorts of thoughts were crowding around. I calm them down into silence. That's another way. Very difficult. Here is another one. Whatever comes to mind, just note that I am aware of it. See, again, a very subtle point. Many people miss it. They think it's like the Buddhist meditation awareness where you are, I'm aware of this movement. No, here you are aware of awareness. It's not a practice. It's a noticing of what already exists. Now let's put it that way. If you practice being the witness, that's an artificial witness. That will last as long as you're practicing. The moment you stop practicing, it's gone. It's like a spring. You sit on it, the moment you get up, it bounces back again. But the witness we are talking about here is always there. It is awareness itself, consciousness itself, which is spontaneously always there. As one monk put it, he was teaching this and he said, "Kyun lag raha hai na ki abhi tum sakshi ho? Don't you feel that you are the witness now?" Somebody must have nodded. And he said, बहुत बड़े गड्ढे में गिरोगे. You're going to fall into a big pit. You're digging a big pit for yourself. What is the pit? The artificial witness which we are generating. I am the witness of the world. I am the witness of the body. I am the witness of the mind. What's wrong with it? Nothing wrong. It's a good thing, but it's artificial. It's not real. You have generated it with the thinking of the mind. It's the mind pretending to be a witness. Basically, it's a quiet mind. I am the witness. It will not stay witness. A little problem in the world, little problem in the body, little, oh my God, parking, did I pay for the parking or is my car getting towed? Gone, witness gone. Even before car is towed, witness has been towed away. That witness is the artificial witness. Even that anxiety, oh my God, is my car getting towed away? Should I go and check? Swami told me to keep my mobile off. Can I update on the mobile? This thinking is also going on in the light of the Sakshi. The Sakshi is ever the same, never changing. That's always available, not affected by anything what we can do. It cannot be improved, it cannot be degraded, it cannot be switched off, it's always there. And that's what we are. So, tat sakshitvena chetanam. One way is to rearrange our vrittis. They put it very humorously when they teach this in Hindi. Vrittiyon se ladna ek baat hai. So, to fight with the mind and rearrange the mind, think only holy thoughts, oh my mind, it's a fight. Not easy. Struggle. This is different. This is using the mind, whatever goes on in the mind, to point back that I am the witness of this thing. This peace of the mind, good. This trouble in the mind, good. So he says, Kamadya chittaga drishya. Desire, anger, greed, unhappiness, doubt. What nonsense is this fellow talking? Good, use that. What nonsense is this fellow? That thought is shining in me, the consciousness. And that's far better than I have understood everything, Swamiji. No. Whatever comes to the mind, whatever experience is going on, you are the witness of that. Notice that. It's like looking into the mirror, not focusing on the mirror. Not focusing on the reflection, using the mirror and the reflection to note, oh, my face is here. Attention goes from the mirror to the reflected face to real face. Only attention can go there. You cannot see the real face as it is. You can only see a reflection. Because the subtle point here being, drigeva natu drishyate. The witness consciousness can never be actually seen or objectified. So you cannot meditate on it directly. You can only meditate on it as things appearing to it. Notice its existence continuously. This is called the samadhi supported by object. Object supported samadhi. Drishya anuvidhoyam. It says, this is one kind of savikalpa samadhi. This is samadhis of two kinds, savikalpaka and nirvikalpaka, with support and without support. With support, here you are using an object as a support. What object is it? Something in the mind. That's an object. Stay with it. Whatever comes to mind, I am the witness. Now, when you have studied it a little bit, now we will glide into the second samadhi, which is the development of this first one. The second one goes like this. What we will basically do is, I am the witness of whatever is coming up. Now gently turn the attention from the object to the witness itself. Now you cannot objectify the witness, but you can use the mind to note certain features of the witness. What could it be? Let us see. Asanga Satchidananda Swaprabho Dvaita Varjitaha Asmiti Shabda Vidhoyam Samadhi Savikalpakaha. I am existence, consciousness, bliss, unattached, self-luminous and free from duality. This is known as the other kind of savikalpa samadhi associated with sound. So this is the second samadhi which is associated, takes the text as a support. First one, object support. Now text support. Not text support. Text support. So text support means I will use a Vedantic text. Could use anything. Chidananda Rupa Shivoham. You can use that. You can use this one, he suggested. What does he suggest? I am the witness of all thoughts coming. This witness consciousness, let me note, asango asmi. I am non-attached. You are non-stick. Non-stick cookware is there. So this witness, pure consciousness is non-stick. Nothing sticks to it. Nothing sticks to it. What sticks to you? In the world, nothing sticks to you. Different place, different time. People come and go in your life. Grandparents. How many times? Fathers, mothers, husbands, wives, children, grandchildren, colleagues, friends, so-called enemies. Nothing sticks to you. They come, they drift in and out of your life. You take a long enough period of life. The world itself continuously changes in front of our eyes. Our own body, does it stick to you? No. Notice how every night we forget the body completely. You're there in your dreams. As a conscious entity, you're there in the dreams. The body is not part of your dream. The body, which is physical body, sleeping on the bed, is not part of your dreams. You are not phenomenologically experiencing that body. So the body is not part of your dreams. You exist without the body every night. And in our lives, from babyhood to childhood to youth to middle age to old age, how the body is changing, continuously flowing. Doctors will tell us every day. See, it might sound strange. Switzerland is a very clean country. But we are not clean people. All the time the body is shedding. Cells and hair and skin particles and so many things continuously from our body, it's flowing out. That's how detectives catch criminals. When criminals come into some scene of crime, they will find out DNA samples. Everywhere it is there. Continuously the body is moving, it is flowing. It doesn't stick to you. Does your mind, I am troubled by my thoughts. Thoughts don't stick to us. Thoughts flow even faster. Even the most repetitive thought, there was a time when it was not. And every day there is a time when those thoughts go away. In your dreams and certainly in your deep sleep, those thoughts go away. Even the most, somebody said, I have OCD problems. Even the most repetitive kind, troublesome kind of repetitive behavior and thought patterns, they also go away. Not only go away, even throughout the day also, even the most troublesome thought, unhappy thought, depressive thought, there will be gaps. That's the very nature of thought. Nothing sticks to you. It all flows. But only when you are this witness consciousness. If I am the body, certain things do stick to me. Physically, other things will stick to me. Certain bodily conditions will stick to me. My genetic makeup will stick to me. My, chronic disease will stick to me. If I am the body. If I am the personality, thoughts, feelings, emotions, those will stick to me. I will have certain tendencies in the mind called vasanas. As the witness consciousness, they do not stick to me. How will I explain? This is called the concept of upadhi. Upadhi means, let me explain the concept of upadhi in Vedanta. Alright. This water seems green. But it's not green. It's colorless. If I put it in a blue bottle, it will look blue. If I put it in a green bottle, it looks green. If I put it in a red bottle, it will look red. The color belongs to the bottle, not to the water. But it appears to be in the water. So the color of the bottle is called the upadhi. This is a Sanskrit word. Its derivation is upa samipe sthitva suyan gunan adhatteti upadhi. Something which is in proximity and appears to transfer its qualities to you. Appears to transfer, that's the operative word. The green color of the bottle appears to be transferred to the water. Water, while being even now colorless, if you pour it out into a glass, it's colorless. If you pour it back into this, it appears green. Pour it back out into the glass, again colorless. But in between, when it is looking green, this is the crucial thing, when it looks green, it's still colorless. It just looks green. So this upadhi is that green color which in some kind of proximity to the water, colorless water, appears to transfer itself into the color, into the water, without actually doing anything to the water. So certain, the blue sky, certain atmospheric conditions and light conditions, sky looks blue. Certain time of the day, sunset, sky looks red. Not that the sky is ever blue or red. It's upadhi. Because of the certain atmospheric conditions and light streaming through it, it looks red or blue or other colors. Now, here is the thing. The body, the mind, thoughts, our personality traits, desires, these are upadhis for consciousness. As long as you are a body, if I think I am this, from the perspective of the body, the height and the weight and the genetic conditions and the organs, they are not upadhi, they are actually part constituent of the body and they will stay with the body. But as awareness, the body and its organs and its disease and its setup are upadhis for me. They seem to be transferred to me. I am brown and Indian and middle-aged. This is body. This is body. And its characteristics seem to be coming to me, the witness consciousness associated here. But they are like they are upadhi. They are not actually in me. Just like this colorless water appearing to be green. Another body coming, in association with consciousness, I will say, I am their consciousness will say, I am a woman. I am maybe Swiss and I am white and I am middle-aged or whatever. But that's the body. It's transferring appears to be transferring its properties to consciousness, the witness consciousness. Mind. If I am the mind, I will be affected. Depression, unhappiness, all these things will come to me. So they are all upadhis. But as witness consciousness, the depression in the mind is in the mind. The awareness, I feel depressed. You'll say that. However, Swamiji, I may say that I am the witness and the depression in the mind is the object. I am the seer of the depression. But Swami, I feel depressed. I feel depressed. Not only mind, it's no use saying that I am consciousness and the mind is depressed or mind is restless. I am fine. I say that, but I actually feel depressed. I actually feel restless. The consciousness, feel depressed. The consciousness, feel restless. What's happening? Green water. Green water. You are experiencing it as green, though it is not at all green. So your knowledge is one thing, what it feels like is another thing. What is the truth? What the knowledge tells you, that's the truth. Knowledge tells you it is colorless water, not green. Your eyes are deceiving you, they're telling you it's green water. I don't know why so many Wittgenstein stories are coming to mind. One of my favorite Wittgenstein stories. You know who I'm referring to, Ludwig Wittgenstein. He was in Vienna, the great philosopher. And then, of course, in Cambridge University. So one day in Cambridge University, after class, he comes out of the university and he looks at the sky and the sun is setting. And he says to his assistant, this lady who has written down this anecdote later on, she says that the professor said to me, I wonder why ancient people thought that the sun goes around the earth instead of the other way around. It's the earth which is rotating. But ancient people thought sun rises and then sun sets. Sun is going round. Why? And this lady said, but professor, that's what it looks like. It looks like that. Sun is rising and sun is setting. And then Wittgenstein said, but if it were the other way around, which it is, what would it look like? Suppose sun is not going around the earth. Suppose earth is rotating. What would it look like? Exactly the same. If the water were green, what would it look like? Like this. If the water was colorless, what would it look like? Like this. But what's the fact? The water is colorless. The sun is not going around the earth. And you are the witness consciousness. You are not upset. There is upset in the mind appearing in you, illumined by you. Looks like you are upset. You are not. So you are asanga, unattached. Only as the witness consciousness you are unattached, because whatever seems to affect you is an upadhi. Whether it belongs to the body, here, prana, hunger, thirst, disease, prana, or mind, happiness, unhappiness, Desire, excitement, restlessness, peace, mind. Ignorance, knowledge, intellect. Sharp, able to remember, memory. Forgetting, memory. Not you, the consciousness. Waking, dreaming, sleeping, mind. Not you, the consciousness. There is no day and night in the sun. There is no waking, dreaming, sleeping in consciousness. This is a strange way of looking at it. But it's the mind which does it. If we can think, we'll see in the next phase of the discussion, which we'll move on to now. We'll see that if I am exactly the same in waking, dreaming, sleeping, it does not seem to be dramatically different. Waking and dreaming and sleeping seem to be dramatically different from our perspective. But if you say you are exactly the same, if you can appreciate it, you'll be enlightened in no time at all, immediately. You will realize what it is then, what you are. All right. So, asanga, I am unattached. Notice this. Satchidananda, I am not explaining this anymore. Existence, consciousness, bliss, I am. Notice. Swaprabha, self-luminous, I am the light of lights. Me shining, everything else shines here. By my light, by me, the light, everything here is illumined. He said, no, Swami, you are not shining, you are not radioactive, the light is shining. Yes, this light is shining, it's revealed because your eyes are open. Your eyes are seeing, it's revealed because your mind is paying attention. And your mind and the eyes and the external light, they are all revealed by you, the consciousness. Suppose you are not consciousness, you are not there at all, consciousness, then it would be dark. I mean, from your perspective, again, first person perspective. So I am the light of lights. Upanishad says, that shining, everything else shines. By its light, everything here is lit up. You shining, everything here shines. By your light, everything here is lit up. Dvaita varjitaha, devoid of duality. Each of these words will take a whole class. Anyway, I'll leave it there. You notice, I am this. Now stay with that awareness. What kind of awareness? Asanga, non-attached. What kind of awareness? Satchidananda, existence, consciousness, bliss. What kind of awareness? Swaprabha, self-luminosity. What kind of awareness? Dvaita varjita, devoid of duality. Awareness experiencing the world. I am seeing the world, seeing people, seeing this body, experiencing the mind, ups and downs in the world, and I say there is no second thing at all in this world. It is one awareness only, one light shining only. Can you do that? The claim of Advaita is that is the fact right now. And until we come to that clarity, samsara will continue for us. This is the second kind of samadhi. Then the last one. Last one is stay with that awareness. I am this limited awareness, staying with it. Then drop the object. What was the object? This green bottle. Drop it and drop the text also in from the mind. What was the text? I am unattached. I am existence, consciousness, bliss. I am self-luminous. I am without duality. Drop that from the mind also. Just stay. And when you stay as that witness awareness, without any object, without any text, that staying itself also you drop from the mind. That's still the mind thinking. Try it. And if you try it, and then the immediate reaction will be mind will start thinking of something, some thought will come. Immediately go back to the first one. That is appearing as an object, it's the seen, I am the seer. I am the consciousness to which it is appearing. Stay with it for some time, then go to the second samadhi. I am unattached, I am existence, consciousness, bliss, I am self-luminous, I am without duality. Then drop both, object and text, and just stay. And that effort of dropping both and stay, drop that also. This is the technique. Sounds a lot like when I say it, it actually can be done in a second. This is always available. How long does it take you to see this bottle? Yeah, just open the eyes. Then from there, how long does it take you to note that the eyes are seeing the bottle? From there, blink the eyes. How long does it take you to note that the blinking of the eyes was noticed by the mind? And then, whatever is going on in the mind is shining in awareness. I am that awareness. Done. Takes a second. Okay. So this is non-dual meditation. Now we will change the scenery. We are going to go to Banaras, Madanji's place. Adi Shankaracharya is in Banaras about 1300 years ago. Banaras or Kashi is one of the holiest places in India. It is the very ancient center of Hinduism, center of learning, of culture, especially spiritual learning, Vedanta and other philosophies there. Great scholars and great saints have always inhabited Banaras for thousands of years. And it is also the go-to place. I was just shown one of the campuses of the institute here. In the old campus, of course, Professor Einstein studied there. So the ETH. So people from all over Europe and other parts of the world come to study here. It's one of the top schools of the world. Similarly, imagine many such schools, not technical schools, schools of Sanskrit grammar and Vedanta and logic and all, they all flourished in Banaras at one time. Even now some are left. So also, more important, Banaras is regarded as a special place. If one dies in Banaras, one gets moksha. All this difficult. Meditation, difficult. Devotion, who knows, God will be gracious or not, which lifetime God will be gracious. Because God's scale is different from our scale. God's level of thinking and understanding is different from our level of thinking and understanding. There's this joke I read long ago. Somebody goes to God and God appears before that person. And this man says, "Oh Lord," God says, "What do you want?" And he says, "Oh Lord, nothing much, very little. For you, $1 million of mine are like $1 for you. So just give me $1 only, that's all, for your own divine dollar." And God says, "Wait 1 second." How long you have to wait, can you imagine? Maybe millions of years or something. So bhakti, who knows? Because you are surrendering to God. When will you get moksha? How many lifetimes later? Who knows? Yoga and samadhi, very difficult. Vedanta, it sounds too abstract. Shortcut. If you die in Banaras. Many people go there to die. Yes. Not as easy as we think. And there also, it depends on the will of Shiva, if you will be able to stay there. Actually, there is a sheriff, a policeman in Banaras called the Kal Bhairava. Yeah. So you need the permission of that deity to stay in Banaras, within the limits of that city. So I remember the first time I went there, a monk took me and he said, "First visit here, and you get a little black string and all of that, blessings from that deity. And then you go to Vishwanath temple, Annapurna, the Divine Mother's temple, and so on and so forth." I knew one monk, I was very close to him as a child. In his old age, he went away and stayed in Banaras, hoping perhaps that he will pass away in Banaras. And he stayed there. He was fine, he didn't pass away. 10 years, 20 years. And he was doing quite well. And he had a minor procedure performed, which was not possible in Banaras. He was sent to Lucknow, across the river, just nearby. And he died there. After waiting for 25 years in Banaras. You never know. So it may not be that easy, but anyway, it sounds easy. Ma Sharada, she was once asked, "Is it true that anybody who dies here will get moksha? Anybody, whether you want it or not, whoever?" She said yes. And then the person who was asking, who has written down that anecdote, there was an ant crawling on the floor. And he asks the mother, "Even this ant, mother, if it dies in Banaras, will it get moksha?" She said yes. He asked 3 times, "Even this ant, if it dies, will it get moksha?" And she said yes. "Yes, my child," 3 times. That doesn't sound logical. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. It's not our logic, it's Shiva's logic. So Kashi Kshetra, if you pass away there, the belief very strong belief among Hindus even till today, is that you will get moksha there. Sri Ramakrishna actually saw how it happened. He went on his pilgrimage to Kashi, and from a boat, that ghat is there, the burning cremation ground near the river Ganga, where the dead bodies, day and night, they are cremated. So Sri Ramakrishna had the vision that he saw the dead body burning, and the subtle body, which usually transmigrates, which leaves this body and goes on to other lokas and then is supposed to be reborn and so on and so forth. But he says he saw Vishwanath, Shiva, come near that body, and the mother Annapurna. And he says he saw in his Bengali, Ma Bhavavandhan Chedan Korchen. She cuts away the bondages of samsara from that person who has passed away. And he says that Baba Vishwanath, Tarak Brahma Mantra. He recites the Tarak Brahma Mantra into the ears of that subtle body which has passed away, which is about to leave this body. Basically liberating that person. When they get liberation, moksha. And all of them, whoever they are. Now, the story goes like this. 1002, Sri Ramakrishna also used to say, so Ma Annapurna is the one who, the Divine Mother Annapurna literally means the giver of food, whose bounty never runs out. So there's a saying that in Kashi, in Benares, nobody goes hungry. Everybody will get fed. But it depends when. And Sri Ramakrishna says, some get fed in the morning, some in the afternoon, some have to wait till evening. He said, so? Morning is now, afternoon maybe many lifetimes hence for us. And the evening is at the end of the universe, this cycle of the universe. But everybody will finally get the blessings of the Divine Mother. Anyway, so this is to this Kashi, Benares, Shankaracharya, like many others before him and after him also many others, he came. And he was already well known by that time. Remember, he was a youngster. By the time he started writing all these texts and all, he was 16 years old. And the remaining 16 years, he went around spreading Vedanta. So he was in Kashi already gathering a first few disciples also. On his way to the Ganga, to the river, to take his daily bath, he sees this Chandala, the lowest caste of all, coming in front of him. And now a monk is not supposed to have any caste at all. But because he's a Brahmin and a high caste Brahmin at that samskara is there in the mind. And he says, Gaccha, gaccha, step aside. Don't block my path. And that Chandala speaks the highest Vedanta, says to Shankaracharya, O best among Brahmins, Dvijavara. He knows what's in the mind of Shankaracharya. He says, what are you telling to step aside? Body from the body, annamayam annamayat. Va chaitanyam chaitanyat. Or consciousness from consciousness. He knows Shankaracharya's philosophy thoroughly. Body is impure, as we just said. One body is like another body. It's full of stuff. So are you saying this body to step aside from body? It's a mass of meat and blood and flesh. Is that what you are asking? Or are you asking consciousness to move aside from consciousness? That is not possible, because according to Shankaracharya's own philosophy, it's all one consciousness. What are you asking me to do? And then Shankaracharya responds. He immediately realized his mistake. He bowed down to the Chandala, who is supposed to have been Shiva, Vishwanath Shiva, in that form to teach him. So both are Shankara. Shankara means Shiva. The Chandala is also Shankara, the real Shankara, Shiva. And Shankaracharya is also Shankara, of course. So he teaches. And Shankaracharya immediately understands what his mistake was. And then he responds with 5 verses on wisdom, which is the topic for this afternoon. 5 verses on wisdom. Manisha Panchakam. 5 verses on wisdom. Very beautiful, which we shall basically glance at, go through, cruise through it. And then we'll take up Q&A. Q&A is better because people are more active. This is a little warm and humid, and people are slowly wilting. I wonder if I bought this weather from India with me. Wherever I go, seems to follow me around. So let me just read out the verses and translate and comment on it, and then we can have question answers. By the way, a strange story about this. In Boston, I met this Lama. I remember his name, Lama Migmar. He is the Tibetan Buddhist chaplain for Harvard University. So I met him on the streets in Cambridge, in Boston. He looked at me and he said, "What are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm studying your philosophy, Tibetan Buddhism, which is what I was studying at that time." And he said to me, "Oh, you are a Vedanta monk, Advaita monk?" I said, "Yes." "Oh, it is the same." And that was interesting for me, because just before that I was attending a class by the very noted professor of Tibetan Buddhism, Madhyamaka Buddhism, Professor Garfield. And in the class, when I entered the class, he said to me, the professor, he said to me, Swami, keep your Advaita outside the door when you come into this. Don't mix up the two. Which is good advice. If you want to learn the technicalities, you learn it on its own strengths. Don't continuously mix up. But this Lama, who is a practitioner, who is a monk, he says, oh, it's the same. And he said, I start my classes by this Shankara's 5 verses on wisdom. I said, Manisha Panchakam? Yes. So he is a Tibetan Buddhist, Madhyamaka, and the emptiness people, Shunyavadi, who is starting his classes by 5 verses on wisdom by Adi Shankaracharya. So what are these 5 verses on wisdom? Don't worry, nothing more than what we saw in the first session. It's always the same. You are Brahman, that's it. No breaking news. It's always the same breaking news. First verse. Jagrat swapna sushuptishu sphutatara ya samvidujrimbhate या ब्रह्मादि पिपीलिकान्ततनुषु प्रोता जगत्साक्षिणी सैवाहं न च दृश्यवस्तुविति दृढप्रज्ञापि यस्यास्ति चेत् चाण्डालो अस्तु स तु द्विजो अस्तु गुरुर् इत्येषा मनीषा मम. He says here, if one is convinced firmly that he is the Atman, pure consciousness, which manifests itself in sleep and wakefulness and dream, in all objects from Brahma, the creator, to the tiny ant, and which is also vibrant but invisible witness of all, Sakshi, then my conclusion is that person, let that person be a Brahmin or a Chandala, he's my Guru. He is the master, he is the enlightened one. Doesn't matter what caste. So it doesn't matter what caste one belongs to, doesn't matter what race one belongs to, doesn't matter what gender one belongs to. If that person is enlightened, has realized that I am not this body and mind, I am the witness consciousness, then that person is the Guru. Whoever, wherever, whenever. Jagrat swapna sushuptishu sphutatara ya samvedu jrimbhate. In waking, in sleep, and in dreams, that consciousness which shines unobstructed, undeniably. So this is one more method. In the morning session we saw one method which is seer and seen, drashta and drishya. This is called avasthatraya, waking, dreaming, deep sleep. Analysis of these 3 to show that I am the witness consciousness. Same conclusion. How does this function? Throughout our lives, every day of our life, the story is the same. Same story, every day. What is the story? I am awake. I am looking at this world. I am experiencing it through the senses. I see, I hear, I smell, I taste, I touch. I am also thinking about it. I have feelings and emotions. I am also acting in it. I am doing stuff in this world. This is called waking life. You are the waker, you right now. And this is the waking world. Always remember, nose. Reality. Catch hold of it right now, like catching the nose. No theoretical. So, this is called waking life. This is just a description of how I experience the world. Good. Now another thing happens. Every day we fall asleep. And we have a world of dreams. We forget the body which is lying on the bed and sleeping, completely gone. We forget that we are sleeping. It seems like a waking world. We are there ourselves, and there's a world there, and there are people there. We are interacting with people. Things are happening, good and bad. You have emotions. You have sense experiences. Actions are there. Pleasant and unpleasant experiences happen. It's only when we wake up we realize, oh, that was a dream. If it was a particularly unpleasant dream, we wake up and say, oh, thank God, it was only a nightmare. We dismiss it. This is called dream state. We also have that. And then the third state comes, which is nothing. Blank. I don't see anything, see, smell, taste, touch, hear anything. I don't dream or imagine anything, just blank. That there is blank, that also I don't think. I am sleeping, that thought is also not there. That thought is also not there. Completely shut down from our perspective. That's called deep sleep. And then what happens? Then I wake up again into the waking state. So there are these three states, and each state has a pair. One is the waker and the waking world. Other one is in the dream, you are the dreamer and you have a dream world. The other one is in the deep sleep. Now there is no pair of sleep, deep sleeper and the deep sleep world. They are merged into an indistinguishable mass of blankness. Why do I say merged into indistinguishable mass of blankness? I don't just say nothing. Deep sleep is like nothing. No, because everything is there. It just comes up again when you are awake. It's like the computer, when you don't touch it for a while, it seems to go to sleep. Nothing is there, blank, nothing is happening. But you touch the mouse or touch the computer, it suddenly comes up. Everything is there. In deep sleep, also like that. Everything is there, but it's not functioning right now. There is no subject-object experience going on there right now. So these three states, they cycle, and each state has its pair of subject and object. I, and this is my world in the waking. I, and this is my dream world. And I and my world all merge together in deep sleep. Now, whatever I've said till now is just repetition of our daily experience and nothing new. I've not said anything new. Now, the new thing comes here, that what Vedanta points out is all three are appearing and disappearing to you, the same one consciousness. It's one consciousness running through all three. Jagrat, Swapna, Sushuptishu. In all three states, waking, dreaming and deep sleep, runs one golden thread of consciousness. These three, waker and waker's world, dreamer and dream worlds, deep sleeper and the deep sleep darkness, they appear and disappear to one continuous consciousness. In one continuous consciousness, and not apart from that one continuous consciousness. Now let me repeat. Three things I've said. All of this appears to you, the consciousness. Step one. It appears in you, the consciousness. Step two. And it is nothing. Step three. It is nothing apart from you, the consciousness. This is the big claim. That I, the consciousness alone, and am appearing as this waking personality and this world. I, the one consciousness, am appearing as the dreamer and the dream world. I, the one consciousness, am not appearing as the as that presentation of blankness and deep sleep. All three are nothing but me. That me in the Upanishads, Mandukya Upanishad, is called the fourth. Fourth. Why fourth? Four, as in 1, 2, 3, 4. Why fourth? Consider, just name the waker. You, the waker, now name it 1. Dreamer, when we dream, you name it 2. And in deep sleep, blank, name that 3. You, the experience of the deep sleep. Sushupti. But all three are you only. That one you, which in the waking is called the waker, in the dreaming is called the dreamer, in the deep sleep will be called, when you wake up, you will call it the deep sleeper. That one you is called the fourth. It's not really the fourth. It's the only one, but appears as 3. Counting from waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, 4. And the name which is given is Turiya. Turiya. Turiya, yes. Turiya is, yes?
Like Om.
Yeah, we'll come to that. So Turiya is the fourth. Turiya literally means fourth. The word Turiya means 4, number 4. Always remember, it is not the fourth. It is the one which appears as the 3. One alone appearing as the 3, therefore that one is called the fourth. Shankaracharya says, Maya Sankhya Turiyam. Counting in Maya, counting in error, we come to 4. Waker, dreamer, deep sleeper, 4. Turiya. But actually Turiya is 1. It's like the relationship between consciousness and the waker, dreamer, deep sleeper is like this. I love that example of the gold and the ornaments. There's a classic example which I love. It is, gold is, suppose somebody has this ornament, sees these ornaments. You have a bracelet, a necklace, and maybe a ring. And somebody tells you that the truth about all these ornaments is gold. There is a fourth thing. Necklace, bracelet, ring. There is a fourth thing called gold. Now the fourth thing is not a separate fourth kind of ornament. There are 2 possible mistakes here. One is that I think, oh, there is something called gold and it's highly recommended. So let me search for that gold. Let me throw away these ornaments, the necklace, ring and bracelet, and look for gold. You'll never find it. You just threw it away. Or if somebody thinks that, so if someone tells you, no, that bracelet, that's it, that's gold. Oh, bracelet is gold. I see. Now, tomorrow if the bracelet is melted and made into a necklace, you'll say gold has gone. Because I thought the name and form and function of the bracelet is gold. Bracelet looks like this. It is called a bracelet and it is put on your wrist. That's what I now think is gold. No. We understand this because we know the difference between bracelet and gold. But a person who doesn't understand what gold is, that's the problem. The goldsmith's child. The goldsmith explained everything. Here is the vault in my home where we keep all the valuable stuff. Next day he's sitting in his shop and he tells his child, go and get me some gold. So the child goes back to the vault and runs back and says, Dad, there's no gold. He says, there's no gold? There was so much gold yesterday. So no, there's none. He says, let me see. He gets scared. He runs back, opens the vault. There is gold. Here is gold. He says, where is gold? Here. But this is a bracelet. This is a necklace. This is a ring. Where is gold? The child doesn't understand what gold is. He thinks there must be some other item called gold apart from the necklace, bracelet and ring and so on. So, or another similar story which I love is the merchant who fell on hard days. You know what is a pawn? Pawning away your valuables, P-A-W-N. Pawning your valuables and get some money in loan. So he goes to a goldsmith and says, here is my beloved image of Ganesha, made of solid gold. How much will you give me for it? So he weighs it and he says, this is the rate. Per ounce I will give you so much money. I'll loan you so much money. And the merchant says, all right. And Ganesha always has the mouse. The Vahana, for Ganesha is the mouse. So the mouse is also there. How much for the mouse? And the goldsmith said, same rate. The same rate at which I weighed Ganesha, same rate for the mouse. And this man got mad. He says, Kya Ganesh ji ka jo rate, chuha ka bhi wahi rate? What? You are valuing Ganesha and the rat at the same level? Don't you have any respect, man? And this man says, for you it is Ganesha and it is a mouse. For me it is gold. आपके लिए गणेश जी हैं और चूहा है, हमारे लिए तो सोना ही है. This for me it is gold only. So now you recognize the gold in all these ornaments. This is one mistake. Either you think that the gold is something else other than the ornaments, or you think one of those ornaments is gold. But that ornament will go away. One day it will be melted and made into something else. Then you will think the gold has gone. These are two kinds of mistakes. And how we make the mistake in our spiritual life is this. Swami Vivekananda says, he who runs away to meditate and die in a Himalayan cave has missed the way. He who plunges into the foolishnesses, the vanities of life, has missed the way. How strange. If you leave everything and go to the Himalayas or the Alps and want to stay as a hermit, you have missed the way. What has this person done? He has thrown away the ornaments and looking for gold. And the other one, he says, all right, I will not run away. I will plunge into it. Zurich, nightlife. Luckily, you don't have much night. That does not seem to be, at least. A very quiet and peaceful place. And not like Manhattan. Then you also have missed the way. Why? What mistake has this one made? He has made the mistake of taking the ornament itself to be gold, the name and the form and the function to be the gold. Then what is the way? Vivekananda says, the way is to see God in everything and to divinize life itself. Wherever you are, with whom you are, whatever you are doing, there and elsewhere, everywhere is the same divinity. You see that same gold in the bracelet, in the ornament. I'm saying this, Vivekananda did not give this example. Bracelet and the ornament and the ring, same gold. Whether it is a bracelet or the same one has been made into a necklace or the same one has been made into a ring, it is the same gold, the same reality there. So that is that fourth one. This one consciousness. What will be the result of this when you begin to see this? And notice, all this seems abstract, it seems Theoretical? Not at all. It is far more real than our so-called world. The world of relationships and money and health and body and family and social and political problems. They are all like the ornaments. What the reality they are made of is this one. This is more real than what we consider to be real. Satyascha satyam, Upanishad says. The truth, reality of all realities. What will be the result? The result will be, notice one thing. Wherever the ornament is, the gold must be there. Whenever the ornament is, gold must be there at that time. And whatever the ornament is, the gold must be there. Similarly, in all space, time and object in this universe, that's what the universe is, space, time and object. Brahman must be there. Turiya, consciousness, Atman, Brahman, whatever you call it, the divinity is there all the time, everywhere, and in everything that we experience. That's one. The second implication will be that, notice, the gold is the reality. The names and forms and all of that ornament, those are the appearances. Those are the names and forms which we have given to that gold. They don't have any separate reality apart from the gold. This is called gold real, ornament, name and form, mithya, false. Similarly, Brahman, Atman, that pure consciousness which you are, that is the reality, and the world is an appearance of that. What we take to be the reality is the world, and Brahman is right there. That's why it seems real to us. All this seems real to us because you are there. You, the one consciousness who is experiencing it. The locus of reality is not outside you. The locus of what we feel as being, existence, is us, our own reality. You yourself. That's the second thing. You are the reality, the world is an appearance. World includes, of course, your body. You are the reality. To make it more clear, in Vedanta, the world means here waking world, dream world, and deep sleep world. Deep sleep world means the seed state. All three together are the world, or more technical terms, gross, subtle, physical, causal. Sthula, sukshma, karana. All together is the world. This is the appearance, the reality of it is consciousness or you. The second implication. Third implication. The appearance can never affect the reality. Appearance never affects the reality. Whether it is a bracelet or it is a necklace or it is a ring, gold is unaffected by it. It's the same gold. Whether it comes up as a wave or it is a bubbles or foam or just still water or sparkling water, it is just water. Water is not affected by the form of the formation. Similarly, you are not affected by the world. The world appearance, by you I mean awareness, not you the body. Body will be affected. You, the world, and including the body, including the mind, they are all part of the world. They cannot do anything to you. All the water in a mirage, Shankaracharya says, all the water in a mirage cannot wet one grain of the desert. All the water of this. Yesterday we were seeing open air movie. So the open air movie cannot affect you. You as pure consciousness. Final implication, non-duality. The gold and the ornament are non-dual. The ornament is not a second reality apart from the gold. Though we use two words, necklace, gold. We are using two words, but they are not two things. The necklace cannot exist without the gold. But the gold can exist without the necklace. Gold can be a bracelet. It can be a lump of gold. It can be something else. You can appear as waking world. You can appear as dream world. You can appear as deep sleep. So the waking world, the dream world, the deep sleep world cannot exist without you. But you can exist without them. You do exist without them. They do not constitute a countable second apart from you. If there is a gold and in the form of a necklace, how many things are there? Only one. You are there as awareness, and the whole world, body, mind, everything is there. How many are there? Only one, you. This is called non-duality. The fourth one is Advaitam, non-dual. Fourth means Turiya, you. You are non-dual with respect to whatever you experience. Basically, it means you are the world. We are this entire world. Nothing here is different from, nobody is your enemy. Her last words, now we can understand. Last words of Ma Sharada to a lady who was attending to her at the end of her physical life, mortal life. She said, my daughter, no one is an other to you. Jagotta Toma, the whole world is yours. Learn to make the world your own. Make the world your own. Nobody is an other to you here. Nobody is so from an Advaitic perspective, no second reality apart from you, the witness consciousness. They're literally you. They may pretend to be at this point other than you. They may pretend to be your friend. They may be acting as your enemy. Fine. And then you live in that world as that personality skillfully now. Without any hatred, anger, but skillfully. Using this knowledge, taking a stand on reality. This is called Jagrat Swapna Sushupti Sphutatara Ya Samvrid Ujrimbhate. That one consciousness. Ujrimbhate, the word he uses, Shankaracharya, which blazes forth. Where? All the time. It's blazing forth here. I mentioned that Professor Garfield, he said something interesting. He says, fish are the wrong people to ask about water. We, Brahman, Atman, we are the wrong people to ask about consciousness. We are always immersed in it. We are it. Therefore, where is consciousness? What? Shankaracharya says, blazing forth all the time. Where? This. Here it is. I remember a very wonderful monk whom I met many years ago in my life. His name was Swami Mokshadanandaji, Ram Maharaj. He has passed away long ago. Very great scholar of Vedanta, but very saintly person. And I feel, surely one of the most enlightened people I've seen. So in the early days when I used to go to him, I was a novice, absolute newcomer. In Belur Math, in his room, he was very sick and old. Very sick for many years, last few years of his life. But always with a twinkle in his eyes and a smile on his lips. Oh, he looked a little bit like Einstein. White fluffy hair, twinkling eyes, short and fair. First time I met him, I had been told that when you are going to the monastery, you meet these monks who are spiritually highly advanced. So you go and take blessings from them and meet them at least for inspiration and all. So one of in the list, my hit list, one of them was this Swami. So I asked, where is he? They said, oh, is he standing there? There was a balcony with some old Swami standing there. So I went there. I made a mistake. I didn't identify correctly. I thought, oh, this is Ram Maharaj. So I went and bowed down to him. And he didn't speak much, so I was a little disappointed. Another Swami was standing next to him, short, fair, twinkling eyes. He started speaking to me. I was not paying attention because I was disappointed. Oh, that Swami didn't speak to me. And then he said, oh, where have you come from? Please convey my love and best wishes to the Swamis there. So I had to turn to him and I said, whom shall I say has sent their blessings and best wishes? What's your name? He said, Ram Maharaj. I said, oh, you are Ram Maharaj, you are Swami Mokshadananji. He said, no. I was taken aback. I said, but you just said, he said, my name is Ram, I am not Ram. Our naam Ram, Ami Ram. That moment itself I was spellbound. So one day I had gone to his room. I used to go with questions, with Vedantic questions. Later I realized you don't even have to go with questions. You can just go and sit near them. You can chat about the weather or about anything or nothing. Just sit in silence also. Later on I was a little more matured, so I used to just go and sit and come back. It's like going near a fire. You get warmed. You don't have to have a question. So I was talking and then he said exactly this, See, here it is. So I thought, here, there's a window and there's a tree outside. That window, that tree, that's Brahman, that's pure consciousness. He looked at me and I still remember, he said, no, thik ta noy, not quiet. Thak pore habe, let it be, it'll happen in its own time. So I don't know, I think it was his blessing. But what he was pointing out slowly over time, as I studied more, I understood what he was saying is this. It's non-dual. It's all the time there, everywhere there. It is you. You are that light shining forth as this world. One way of understanding, it sounds very abstract, but one way of understanding is what happens in our dreams. In your dreams, You become the person in the dream and the whole world in the dream. All the people you see in the dream is the dreaming mind itself. All the places you see, all the things which happen good and bad is the dreaming mind. The trees there, the plants there, the sky there, the earth there, the water there, the people there, the animals there, the good and the bad there, they're all you, the dreamer. One mind appears as all of that. And does not seem like appearance. It seems very real. Now, that's not what is happening here. Vedanta says what is happening here is not that the mind is appearing as all this. It is awareness or consciousness which appears as mind and the world. Vivekananda says one only exists. It appears as nature, soul. One only exists. It appears as nature and soul. So nature is what your whole prakriti, the entire world which you experience, including your own bodies, your minds. And by soul he means the Atman, pure consciousness. The subject, Jivatma, and this external world, both are nothing but pure consciousness. Let me ask something interesting. In the dream world, in the world of our dreams, when we are dreaming and we don't know we are dreaming, it seems like we are seeing, we are hearing, we are smelling, we are tasting, we are talking, we are walking, there is action and sensing, all of it is going on. In the dreams, do we see through eyes? Do we hear through ears? Seems like that we are seeing, we are hearing. But the experience of seeing and hearing is there. We are talking, hearing, and things are going on in the dreams. How are we hearing or hearing? It's the mind is imagining everything in its own place. Mind by itself is imagining everything. Something like that is going on here. Consciousness itself is the self and the object, the conscious and the not conscious. Swami Ashokanji was asked, so even the not conscious things, table, chair, they're also conscious. Said, yes. It doesn't seem so. Well, if it seemed so, then they would not be good actors. Consciousness would be a bad actor if once in a while the table shrugged and they did like. They're very good actors. In our dream, yes.
But Maharaj, if you dream something bad, when you wake up,
yes,
your heart is beating.
Mm-hmm.
So it is not only the mind.
Yeah, the body, whatever affects the mind affects the body also. The mind and the body is closely linked. But the example, I'm using it as an example. The mind generates it, like a virtual reality. Similarly, they're saying consciousness generates waker and waker's world, dreamer and dream world, and deep sleep and darkness. All three are appearances in one consciousness. Jagrat swapna sushuptishu sputatara ya samvid vujrimbhate. It shines forth. It blazes forth. And then he says the next one. He says, Ya Brahmadi Pipilikanta Tanushu Prota Jagat Sakshini. This witness consciousness, which is in and through not only waking, dreaming, sleeping, it is in every being. It is one consciousness in every being. This question might arise, all right, I am consciousness, but there are so many people here. So how many consciousnesses are here? And the answer in Vedanta is it's one consciousness. It's not many consciousnesses. Exactly in the dream again. In the dream we meet so many people. You might think that, all right, if you tell me I am the dreamer, but there are so many dreamers here. No, they are all me. I am appearing as the subject and the object in my own dream. I am appearing as all persons. In all those persons, only one mind is there behind everything. Similarly, one consciousness is there. He says from the highest being, Brahma, the creator of the world, not Brahman, not Brahma, the creator of the world, from the highest being to an ant crawling there, and all living beings and all human beings. One consciousness in and through all of them. This consciousness, he says, Jagat Sakshini. Jagat Sakshi, the witness, the illuminer of the whole universe. Same Sakshi which we identified, seer and the seen in the morning, same one. So what? Saivaham, I am that one. I am that one consciousness. Soham, I am that. If you cannot say that, then that one becomes God for you. What is the relationship with the religion of devotion and dualism and this non-dualism? When you say, I am that one consciousness which appears as subject and object here, then one non-dual consciousness, that's one, that is non-dualism, Advaita. When you cannot say that, it's too much. I am just this guy. No matter whatever you say, I am this guy, Sarvapriyananda. Then that one consciousness, which is the light of this entire universe, is God for you. Is the one which you worship in temples and churches and mosques.
It's the same as Maharamoshi say, the seven layers of consciousness. The last one is unity.
Unity, yes. Yeah. Swami Turiyanandaji says in one place about Vivekananda. When Vivekananda said I, it included everything. It was the cosmic I am the one reality behind everything. He meant that. He didn't mean that one body, mind, Vivekananda. Then Swami Turiyananda was a great Vedantin himself. He says, it doesn't come easily to us. Tai Amra, that's why we say thou. He says, it doesn't come, very honestly, we can't say I am the one consciousness of the universe. So we say thou my Lord. That's the dualistic religion. That's the religion of churches and temples and mosques and so on. That God whom we worship. Same thing. We still retain the distinction between myself and the divine, and then it becomes religion. Or, yeah.
So that's the Krishna's point of view in Bhagavad Gita, and he's talking about the third being.
Yes. So Krishna's point of view is, he's talking of himself as this one pure consciousness which appears as the entire universe. Whenever he says, many times he says, I. What is the Bhagavad Gita's conception of God? There are the 4 conceptions of God there, of divinity there. One is the absolutely personal conception of God. I, Krishna. So there are devotees, there are schools of thought in Hinduism, and they are well known all over the world, who take Krishna as exactly that blue-colored youth who is standing there, the person. And he is somehow a divine person. So Krishna means, that same Krishna whom you see as the charioteer of Arjuna, as the beloved of the gopis in Vrindavana. That Krishna is a personal God, a divinity. God, but a person. That's one conception of God in the Gita. Avatar is also like that, incarnation, as a personality it comes. But the same God is God in heaven, is the God of religion, creator of the universe, the God which is worshipped in all religions, Father in heaven, as Allah, as Shiva, as Narayana, as Devi. In Hinduism, wide range of options are there of worshipping that omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, all the omnis. It is not that one person only. So it is the Father in heaven, the God of religion, the God of dualistic religion. That's the second conception of God. Again, you will find that in Bhagavad Gita also. There is a third conception of God in the Bhagavad Gita, which is the omnipresent, which is the immanent God. Not God in transcendent beyond universe, but also in and through this universe, which you find in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and most powerfully in the 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And Oppenheimer, when he saw the first explosion of the atomic bomb, he said, I come time, the destroyer of worlds. He was quoting from the 10th chapter, 11th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So this universe itself, gold as, not pantheism, there's a little technical difficulty there. We'll not go into that. A little more technical. I mean, there's a new term being used now, I didn't know this earlier, panentheism. Pantheism is literally the divinity has become chair and table. This world. If this world is the divinity, literally, as it is, then why call it God? Just call it the world. What else is there here? So pantheism has many difficulties, but many of them are avoided by panentheism. It's probably what Spinoza also intended, his view of the divinity. And I read somewhere, Einstein himself was asked, do you believe in God? And he said, no. But I believe in Spinoza's God. This one divinity which is expressing itself as this entire universe. That's the third conception of divinity in the Bhagavad Gita. The immanent, transcendent, immanent God. Vivekananda also says, we Hindus worship a transcendent, immanent God. Transcendent means beyond the universe, beyond space-time object, beyond its creation. Immanent means in and through, present everywhere, in every bit of creation. Just as you are present, you are transcendent to your own dreams. But in your dreams, you are present in every bit of your own dream. There's nothing other than you. Then the fourth conception of God present is the Advaitic, Aham Brahmasmi. the individual and the cosmic are negated, one limitless existence, consciousness, bliss alone remains. That's the fourth one. First three are dualistic, and the last one. The third one is Vishishtadvaitik, the qualified monism. And the last one is radical non-dualism. Saivaham, I am that one only. One who has realized it. That person may be appearing as the lowest person in society. In the caste system, hierarchy in those days, so people would, Brahmins were at the top of the caste hierarchy, the Shudras and Chandalas were the lowest of the low. And here is Shankaracharya saying, the lowest of the low, so-called, is my guru. This realization shows you the one divinity behind everything. Our so-called low and high is our human constructions. They are not truth. They are social hierarchies. The truth is one divinity everywhere. I'll come to you. So, all right, let's do some Q&A. Then I will finish by reading up the remaining verses. Let the gentleman there. I'll come to you.
Swamiji, first and foremost, thank you so much for your service. In your conversation with Sam Harris, it seemed to me that the entire conversation was very much about the phenomenology of experience. And towards the end, there was a teaser that perhaps at some point you may meet again to help Sam understand how we can move from phenomenology to ontology. How can we make that move from I am that, but it being very much from a personal point of view, to recognizing that I'm a manifestation of this conscious awareness, and there is only conscious awareness.
Vedanta would say, I am that one conscious awareness, not that I am a manifestation of conscious awareness.
Right.
What is the manifestation is the personality, the body and mind. But I am beyond that. The whole thrust is to push you to the realization that you are the ontological ground of everything. You're right. It's very interesting about Sam Harris that he has an easy acceptance of the core teachings of Advaita Vedanta, of Dzogchen Buddhism, these two particular traditions, Dzogchen Buddhism and Advaita Vedanta, Tibetan Dzogchen Buddhism. And yet, he ontologically makes no commitments. Ontologically, he basically is grounded in science. With, I wouldn't say a materialistic reductionist view, but still pretty materialistic view, pretty physicalist view. He doesn't want to express that, he doesn't want to make the ontological commitment or jump. But that's very important. Why? Phenomenologically, we can speak many things. It feels like this to me, and I can construct a philosophy based on my feelings and appearances. But at the end of it, if all these feelings and appearances are all grounded in the brain, in the body, then matter, energy, that becomes the foundation of the universe. That becomes the foundational ontology. Not consciousness, not Atman Brahman. Then all of this is just theorizing in the air. That reminds me, this is the place for theorizing in the air. Germany, philosophy. Somebody said, Kant, Hegel, Schopenhauer. So somebody British, he said, a little jealous. He said, to the British, God gave dominion, the dominion of the seas. And to the French, God gave dominion of the land. And to the Germans, he kept for them the dominion of the air. That means hot air, speculative philosophy. So let me finish this discussion. Notice the three most important questions of philosophy, foundational questions of philosophy, three branches of philosophy. What is real? That's studied in a branch of philosophy which is called, it used to be called metaphysics, now it's called ontology. Fancy, ontos means being, existence. So what is real? Is God real? Is the world real? Are people real? Is matter and energy real? What is real? Depending on what you say, you'll have different types of philosophy, different types of science. So that is ontology. And then the second branch of philosophy is, how do you know anything? All these things you're talking about, how do you know them? What's your epistemology? What's your source of knowledge? So how do we know anything? That's studied in a branch of philosophy called epistemology, knowledge. How is knowledge possible? And finally, the question would be, what's the point of it all? Is there any point at all? Some people might say there is no point. Some might say there is a point. Now, some might say it's all God's plan. Some might say it is a purposeless, mindless universe. These are all answers to the question of axiology, value. Earlier there were subjects like aesthetics, ethics, but they've all been clubbed together under new umbrella term axiology, the study of values. What is the point of it? What is good? What is beautiful? All of these things together, axiology. 3 branches of philosophy, fundamental branches: ontology, epistemology, axiology. What is real? How do we know anything at all? And what's the point of it all? Now notice, what does Advaita Vedanta say? Ultimate reality, Sat, Chit, Ananda. What is reality? Being itself, existence itself is the ground of reality, is reality. Ontos is being, Sat. How is knowledge possible? Chit, because this Sat itself is consciousness also. That's why knowledge is possible. And what's the point of it? Ananda, bliss. And Vedanta says all 3 are the same thing. Being is consciousness, is bliss. And even more stunning, Vedanta says this being which is consciousness, is bliss, this Satchidananda is you. Tattvamasi, the great equation finally. So this is the ontological commitment. You're right. Simons does not buy into it. So in his book he says, I think Waking Up, he says not that I agree with religion. I mean all of religion he trashes. He's completely anti-religion. And he says, however, there are these 2 traditions, Advaita Vedanta and Dzogchen Buddhism, which have a core of truth for him. So it's very interesting. From a out and out skeptic, one of the greatest atheists of our world today, in this world today, that atheist also is forced to admit that there is a core of truth in Advaita Vedanta and Dzogchen Buddhism. These are the traditions with which he is most associated or familiar with. But he does not, there also he does not buy into the thing that Brahman is the ground of the universe, is the ontological ground. So that's where he stands. I don't think the 2 are compatible. When he says, I agree with Dzogchen Buddhism or Advaita Vedanta and I practice it and there's a core of truth, at the same time he does not buy into the commitment that the 2 are not compatible. He's still at that position.
Do you have a recommendation for if I want to learn more about how to move from a solipsistic picture to a broader framework, from me myself to make that movement on the...
Right. I'll just give you a hint. Solipsism is seen as a fault in philosophy, that I alone exist. And Advaita seems to be saying that. But no. Solipsism is a fault when I say I, the person, alone exist, and you guys don't exist. You all exist in my imagination. I am seeing you, so you exist. But how do I know that you exist? The only thing I'm sure of is my own existence. Like Descartes said, the only thing I'm sure of is my own existence. I'm not sure of your existence. I close my eyes. Where are you? I don't see you. Solipsistic. This is a fault. But Advaita Vedanta doesn't say that. Advaita Vedanta first starts with yourself and deconstructs the person and says what exists is one consciousness which is all of us. It is as much me as it is you, as it is him, as it is her. In fact, the personality itself is an appearance in that one consciousness. So it is not solipsistic in that sense. In fact, it is the most universal in that sense. It includes and identifies the whole universe with you. See, classically, solipsism is a denial of everybody else except myself. But this is just the opposite. It brings in everybody. It includes the whole universe and says, but what it does is, it does not say that the reality is a collection of everybody. No, it says it's one reality appearing as many. Brahman is not a catalog, a collection, an inventory of the universe. A set of all things. Not like that. Brahman is not even one item among many items. There are chairs and tables and human beings, and there is perhaps one thing called Brahman. Not like that. It's also not that all chairs, tables, human beings, all together, put it together, stars and planets, quarks and quasars, put it together, then it's Brahman. Not even that. Brahman is the reality which is now being experienced in these ways. like the movie screen. Suppose a movie is playing here, and you want to point out the screen. Somebody who doesn't understand what the screen is, you'll say, "Where is the screen?" You say, "Right here, there's the screen." But whatever you see on the picture, the person will think that picture, that person, that hero or the villain or whatever is going on in the movie, that is the screen. No, it's not. You will say, "No, it's behind." Behind means what? So you remove the pictures, that's the screen. So the whole thing is covered with pictures. If you remove all the pictures, the person thinks screen means nothing. Then you say, no, all of it is a screen. Then the person will think, collect all the pictures together, that will be screen. No. None of that is correct. But one who understands what the screen is will immediately see what you mean. That screen alone, on that, the movie is appearing. In that sense, Brahman is everything. It's not solipsistic. Yes, I'll come to you, the gentleman here.
If name and forms were not true, aren't the avatars also not true?
Be careful when you use when we throw around words like true or not true. Brahman is the reality which appears as name and form. Name and form by themselves cannot be a reality, just like the pictures cannot float in the air. So avatars are true as Brahman. Are you asking, are avatars true by themselves? Now when we look at Sri Ramakrishna, is Sri Ramakrishna true or not? But when we are looking at Sri Ramakrishna, are we not looking as Brahman with the name and form of Sri Ramakrishna? When you look at a gold bracelet and you are told that the gold is the reality and the bracelet is just name and form. But when you are actually looking at the gold bracelet, are you not looking at gold plus name and form? One monk told me that be careful, Swami, when you teach the falsity of the world. People will misunderstand. They will think this is false. But this is not false. Brahman plus name and form is this. When you say this is false, it's like throwing away the ornament and saying, now I'll look for gold. You've thrown away the gold also. What is false means appearance nature, is the changing names and forms and functions. The underlying reality we don't see, we don't understand that. That's why, so this separation of name, form and function from Brahman, it's a way of allowing us to appreciate what is Brahman. It's like intellectually, mentally we try to separate name and form of the bracelet. Name is bracelet, form is like this, and the gold separately, mentally. Physically, you cannot do that. Physically, what is appearing is the reality itself. Gold itself is appearing as bracelet to you. But because of this delusion or illusion set up by words, we think there are two things there. One false thing and one real thing. No. What you dismiss as the false thing, world is false. Be careful. When you say world is false, Brahman is right there. Don't throw away the baby with the bathwater, the gold with the ornament. Yeah. So, Sri Ramakrishna name and form is an appearance of Brahman. Now what is the difference between avatar and the rest of us? Our names and forms are part of Maya which keep us in Maya. But divine names and forms, that's the whole technology of bhakti. That is like a doorway to Brahman. Sri Ramakrishna himself said, there's a big wall and we don't know what's on the other side of the wall. But once in a while you'll come across a hole. Through that you can see into the other side of the wall. He is like that gap, that window in the wall through which we see the infinity. On this side, our finite world. On that side, limitlessness, Brahman, and that appearance. Yeah.
Is it a belief that enlightenment will be permanent? Like if I am identified with body now,
Yeah.
why not I will identify again?
Will enlightenment be permanent? If I have become unenlightened now, ignorant now, I can again become ignorant. After all the Vedanta, I may forget the Vedanta. Yeah, I can get Alzheimer's, Parkinson's and forget everything. Gone. It's not like that. If I realize that I am Brahman, one existence consciousness place, where is the body remaining to be identified with? With what? Where will the illusion come from? It sounds strange. If it has happened once, why can it not happen again? The answer there will be actually, if you precisely probe, it has not even happened once. The whole idea that you are always free, that you are already Brahman, that what it means is, see, upon enlightenment we will realize that I always was, am and always will be this Brahman. Not that at one time I fell into ignorance and then I was caught in samsara. I was this person going from lifetime to lifetime, and now after lots of Vedanta talks and YouTube talks, I have become enlightened. I am Brahman now. Not like that. What we will see is, oh, this is it. It was always there. Then what about Maya and samsara? That was never there. It sounds strange from our perspective now. Because this system, this thing seems to be so real for us. Vedanta, they say, nivrittasya nivritti, praptasya prapti. What does Vedanta remove? What was never there will be removed by Vedanta. What does Vedanta give you? What was always yours will be given to you by Vedanta. Otherwise there is danger. If something had really gone wrong and Vedanta sets it right, then it can go wrong again. If something was really lost and Vedanta finds it and gives it to you, you can lose it again. But it's not like that. It sounds strange because our quandary, our conundrum is very strange. The situation we find ourselves is paradoxical.
A question to relate to that, because my experience is it's easy when life is not crazy. This being, consciousness, bliss is one. Oh, I'm sky, I'm nothing, everything. It's easy when life is not crazy, but sometimes life gets crazy of situation, which that's
Yeah.
my experience.
Yeah.
This
I-
being and the doing, is it possible that every day I try to ground myself in self, in the being, and from there doing, but this gap sometimes still happens, like
Yes.
being and doing.
Two answers there. One is, a question is that sometimes life gets very crazy. This what we are talking about is understandable. We may also get some kind of peace from it, but it quickly gets swept aside by the craziness of life, by the troubles and struggles of life. And could be a physical illness, could be a relationship problem, could be social, political problems, whatever it is. Now, two answers to that. One is that what Vedanta says, Vedantic meditation is supposed to solve that problem. Your name is Grace.
Yeah.
You are Grace. When life is crazy, are you still Grace? Yeah. When life is peaceful and you're sitting here, are you still Grace? Yes. Because it is not maintained by your effort. It is an effortless reality for you. That your grace is an effortless reality for you. Let me finish this. So that your grace is an effortless reality for you. You don't have to practice morning 1 hour grace practice and evening 1 hour grace practice. Today I did not do my grace practice, so I might be swept away. Life will get crazy and I will be not grace for some time. No. Whatever happens in life, worst and best things, you still the same grace. Okay. Now, how do you make this realization effortless? That I am Brahman. What seems to be you're beginning to understand it now. How can it be living reality and effortlessly living reality? For that, Vedantic meditation is necessary. That which makes it seem like I am not Brahman, I am just this guy being tossed up and down by the craziness of life. That is because that's the mind. And the mind has to be immersed in this realization through Vedantic meditation. This meditation which we talked about, 6 types are there in this book, and every book has a variety of Vedantic meditations. In principle, they are all the same. What you have studied, what you have got clarity with, stay with it, including in the middle of the craziness of life. When your mind is peaceful, things are going nice, stay with it. When the mind is not peaceful and things are not going nice, try to stay with it there and see. It will be difficult. You will fail 1,000 times. Try one more time. If it is a reality, no, let me finish. If it is a reality, it will become, then what will happen? At one point, it will become spontaneous, effortless, like grace. Then you don't have to do any effort anymore. Sri Ramakrishna, his Advaita Guru, Totapuri, he would say Totapuri would meditate every day, Samadhi, he would sit in Samadhi every day. So Sri Ramakrishna said, you are enlightened. Why do you meditate every day? And Totapuri, who was this wandering monk, so they have a brass pot, a water pot. He said, look at this brass pot. If I polish it every day, look how it shines. If I don't polish it, it gets a taint. Brass will get that taint, that discoloration. Similarly, the mind. The realization that I am Brahman, you have to center it, the mind in that. For him, it was easy. He was practicing Samadhi for years and years. you remain in samadhi. And then you come back into the world, you are centered in your reality, in that I am Brahman. The sadhus there in Uttarakhand, they have many, many stories about this. One more story is this. The mongoose fights with the cobra. Actually it does. Mongoose fights with the snake. Now one story about it is, in the Himalayas, is that the mongoose knows a special herb in the jungle. So if the cobra sometimes bites it and the poison goes into its system, the mongoose goes into the jungle and chews on that herb and comes back and again plays or fights with the cobra. I don't know if that's true. Probably biologists have said that the mongoose is resistant to the cobra poison. Probably. But anyway, that herb is there. It goes and bites and then the poison goes away from its system and can go and fight against the cobra again. And he says, you are playing with Maya day in and day out, including the very instrument which you have got, the body, the personality of grace. All of that is given by Maya to you. And it's like playing with the cobra. Once in a while you will get bitten. So you have to go back and chew the herb of Brahman. I am Brahman. Settle down quietly. It is all right. Good. Let's go back. Let me see what was crazy, the job or the family or the relationship or the health. What something is crazy in life, let's go back and play with the cobra again. You'll be all right. So Vedantic meditation is the answer to this question. When in the middle of craziness also, can I be centered as Brahman? This is preliminary answer. You know what the real answer is? The real answer is this question. Who is asking this question? You are Brahman? Is Brahman asking the question or is the mind asking the question?
But that's exactly my question.
Who is asking the question?
Yes, I know I'm not, when I ask this question, I know when I'm in a situation when there's mind, there's consciousness, and then I'm not that, I forgot I'm not consciousness.
I forgot slowly. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I forgot I'm not consciousness.
Yes.
Who is that I? The mind?
Yes,
But you have already said I've realized I am consciousness. Even when the mind forgot that it is consciousness and it seemed to cloud over the whole personality and behave crazily, it's like, isn't it like the dark clouds which have come and covering the sun now?
I know that.
Wait. Shh. It covers the sun. Right now, clouds are covering the sun. Even now, the clouds which are covering the sun, they are being seen by the sunlight only. The fact that my mind became crazy, restless, not remembering that I am Brahman and I behaved in this way and that way, all that was noticed, experienced and revealed because I am Brahman. I always was. So, no, just stay with that. I'll come to you. Let's give, yes, the gentleman there, and then we'll come to you.
My question is, I think, similar to his question about solipsism.
Yes.
You have said that solipsism is not a valid philosophical argument.
It is a fault. I mean, it's not. It's always. It's like one of the professional hazards of being a philosopher. You may fall into solipsism. Yeah.
Yes, and I feel like that the way that you explain it today is very similar to solipsism because I cannot experience anything apart from my own consciousness. I cannot prove that anybody else here is conscious, or I cannot prove that anybody is not conscious.
Yes.
So it seems both statements seem to be unfalsifiable. They seem to be impossible.
But remember, this consciousness you're talking about is already mixed with the mind. Right now, it seems I cannot think of anybody else's consciousness apart from mine. Who is saying that? The mind which is appearing in consciousness itself. When I know myself to be pure consciousness, that is witness consciousness, I will notice that it is the same in all bodies and minds. It is only the testimony of this mind, and every mind will testify to that I seem to be the only mind in existence. That's the way a mind works. That's the way a subject works.
Yes, but how do I go I don't see any argument that it's false, that I can go beyond that.
You are already going. When you say I am the witness consciousness, you move from the personality to witness consciousness, then you are not even that personality. Yeah. It's quite possible that all personalities are like that.
It could be.
That's not solipsism anymore. What is solipsism? One personality is real, everybody else is an appearance. I am real. You guys are all appearances to me. Which seems to be right. But Advaita Vedanta says, wait a minute, examine this I am is real. You will notice even this I am is appearing to consciousness. You are consciousness, not the person Sarvapriyananda.
But there cannot be a second I am, sort of a second reflected consciousness.
It can be. Why? Because the moment I see myself as the witness consciousness reflected in this mind and body as a reflection, this reflected consciousness, the same principle will operate everywhere. I'll understand others as same also. Because
I would infer that, but I cannot.
No. I know what you're saying, but that's because you're still talking as the mind. This is a question set up by the mind. It's not a question of consciousness itself. I know it's difficult, it's subtle, but yeah, it's a professional hazard. We'll just give a chance to those who have not. We'll give a chance to those who have not asked earlier. The gentleman there, and then the lady there. Yes, you then, please. Yes.
Thank you very much. And I just wanted to ask you, see this, the thing of saying like, okay, this object is myself, all this. How long have you been, like, it's a personal question. You have been into this Vedantic practice yourself for so many years.
Yes.
And you reach certain level compared to like Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, or compared to very, very, very minute people like us who have perhaps who have been trying and listening to the lectures. But what is it really that makes you to just graduate from these so many doubts, not able to understand, to a place where you have got that? Is it that constant practice of Vedantic meditation?
Those three things for everybody. Classical Advaita Vedanta will say three things are necessary. Purification of the mind, focus of the mind, and generating the knowledge through this listening, reasoning, and meditating. That's what you do. But once there's also a breakthrough. Once that breakthrough comes, it becomes effortless then. Just like I am right now, I am the guy Sarvapriyananda. I don't need any practice.
Do you get angry sometimes? Do you write?
Yeah, I can get annoyed. I can get angry. Everything can happen. Because you have this feeling. You have this feeling that oh, this guy must be enlightened. Let me find out. You can. Yeah. So the thing is, don't be too eager to become enlightened. Once you pass through those gates, there is no return. So let the game go on, let the practice go on. Always better to think of yourself as a spiritual seeker, as a sadhaka, rather than as perfected or enlightened. Even if you are perfected and enlightened, there is no harm if you think of yourself as a sadhaka. But the opposite is very harmful. To think of oneself as a perfected one, as an enlightened one, as a liberated in life, jivan mukta, while one is still quite far away, there is very harmful.
But you contradict yourself. You just said you will not lose it. To this gentleman, you said once you attend, you will not lose it.
Yeah, when you attend, you will not lose it. Yes. So until that point, so suppose you feel I have attained. It's all right. Tell your mind, don't worry about it. Keep on, like Totapuri is doing, keep on meditating and all of that. Sri Ramakrishna said to Totapuri, when Totapuri said that the brass pot will get a stain if you don't rub it every day. Similarly, you meditate every day, you realize that you are Brahman in the middle of trouble also. Sri Ramakrishna's response was interesting. He said, but if it is a golden pot, you don't have to scrub it every day. What is the meaning of that? He didn't explain. Then the lady there, yes.
My name is Divyakshi and I grew up in Kashi, so feeling very blessed to be in your presence. Referring to the session in the morning from the discourse, you said it is the body which gets overweight, not the consciousness. But sometimes consciousness also gets burdened by things going on around us.
Like?
There could be things which we do not want to do.
Yes.
But have to do because they are part of the duty.
Alright, so for example, regret or guilt. Where is regret? Where is guilt? Is it in consciousness or is it in the mind? You must distinguish between consciousness and mind. That was the whole focus in the morning. Whatever you are aware of is an object. If you are aware of guilt, I feel guilty. Guilt is an object. If it's an object, it's not in you. It's in either the body or the prana or the mind, in the memory, but not in you. You are the illuminer of that. You are free of it.
So there are exercises to shed the body weight. What is the exercise to shed the burden?
The burden, first, so there are exercises. One is, first of all, start. If it is too much burning, troublesome, there is a whole concept of prayashchitta, where I perform certain rituals and certain penances to make right what cannot be made right now. Something I have done or said or harmed others, or whatever I am unhappy about. So that one can do. Then one moves on to karma yoga, selflessness. One moves on to devotion and surrender to the Lord. Good and bad, everything is yours. I am working. I am serving you in all beings. Then one moves on to meditation, stilling the mind. See, even to feel guilty, one must think. And then one moves on to this, to see that I am the witness consciousness. There is no touch of guilt there. One very interesting thing. The Upanishad says the enlightened one of the many ways in they are characterized. Krita kritat na tapate, is not troubled by what was done, by what was not done. We are all troubled by what is done and not done. At the end of our lives, and those, what is it called, hospice care, those who care for the people who are dying, they say people are plagued by guilt and regret. Guilt at why did I do that, why did I say that, why did I behave that way, and regret, why did I not do it when I had the chance. One, in Reader's Digest I read, a nurse who tended to people who were passing away, she said one common thing, regret I find among people is, there are certain things I had dreamt of and somehow life overtook me and I never got the chance to do those things, whatever it is. And now it's too late. Now I think, why didn't I do it? So regret, guilt and regret. An interesting thing, the enlightened one is not plagued by guilt or regret. Now we have to handle it carefully. It's not that the enlightened one is callous and reckless. It's just that the enlightened one has realized what I am is not touched by guilt or regret. That's the part of the personality which goes through that. So what finally, how do you shed the burden? You shed it through prayashchitta. You shed it through selfless life. You shed it through devoted life, surrendering to the Lord. With your heart, cry at the feet of the Lord, and say, I am sorry for this. I will never do it again. You help me not to repeat it again. Do this or say this or whatever it is, whatever plagues me. And I offer the whole thing unto you. In fact, I will read it out now. Shankaracharya in that verse, he talks exactly about that. The burden of the past, how do I shed it? He says, not shed it, burn it. I will talk about it. He'll talk about it now. That is devotional life. All right. Let me just hold on to your questions. Let me just finish reading since I've come to it. We had said 5 verses on wisdom. We have done only 1 verse. 4 other verses. I'll just read through it and translate. It's very beautiful. And it won't be difficult to understand either. Verse number 2. Brahmaivahamidam jagatcha sakalam chinmatra vistaritam sarvam chaitadavidyaya trigunaya ashesham maya kalpitam ittham yasya dridhamati sukhatare nitye pare nirmale chandalastu satu dvijo astu gurur ityesha manisha mama. He says, I am Brahman, idam sarvam jagatcha sakalam. I am Brahman, limitless consciousness, and this entire world which I am experiencing, including this body up to this mind, including this all these thoughts also, all of that, including the ego, I, Sarvapriyananda, all of that, chinmatra vistaritam. It is the play of consciousness, it's an extension and flowering of consciousness itself. And I am that consciousness. Why does it then appear like this? I am a person, these are all different people. I don't feel that oneness. I feel this separation. I feel this life and death, not immortality. I feel sukha dukkha, not ananda, pleasure and pain, not bliss. I feel I am born and I die. I don't feel limitless existence. I feel I'm awake, dreaming and sleeping. I don't feel limitless consciousness. Why? Sarvam chaitad avidyaya trigunaya ashesham maya kalpitam. All of this, what I take to be this world, is because of what is called Maya, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, projected because of this. Who is this Maya? You only. Maya kalpitam. I alone, by my own power of Maya, I project this universe. Example, dream. In the dream, if somebody tells you, all this is your projection, you'll say that's a nice philosophy, but no, that sounds like solipsism. I am here and you all are here separate from me. But when you wake up, what will be true? It will be true that you will be the one who projected all of it by the power called sleep. Here, by the power called Maya, pure consciousness projects all this. That's why it seems like this world as we are seeing it. Ittam yasya dridamati, the one whose conviction is settled, not doubtful. Not, I understood it, but the moment I step outside, again confused. I got it in the YouTube talk, but now I am a little doubtful. Not like that. Dridamati, unshakable clarity. Sukhatare nitye pare nirmale, in the transcendent, pure, limitless bliss, which is Brahman. Let that person be a Chandala or be a highest class of Brahmin. That person is my Guru. This is my conviction. Shashvannashvarameva vishvamakhilam nishchitya vacha guru nityam brahma nirantaram vimrishata nirvyaja shantatmana bhutam bhavi cha dushkritam pradahata sangvidmaye pavake prarabdhaya samarpitam swavapu ityesha manisha mama. Now, how does this enlightened one live? Here comes the answer to your question also. Shashvad nashvarameva vishwamakhilam. I know this world to be continuously passing away. Life and death rotate endlessly here. Nishchitya vacha guru. But by the teachings of the Guru, I have clarified, I am convinced, I have ascertained. Nityam Brahma Nirantaram. One undivided Brahman alone is appearing as all of this. And I am that Brahman. Vimrishata. Dwelling on this. Dwell on it. For the time being, for months and years, dwell on this. How do you dwell on it? Nirvyaja shantatmana. With an undisturbed mind, free of all anxiety, with a serene mind, dwell on it. To have a serene and undisturbed mind, one must have spiritual practices. One can't jump from being a crook to an enlightened one at one jump. One can become, a crook can become an enlightened one, but that process is necessary. Slow development, pushing one upwards and slowly. Then he says, Bhutam bhavicha dushkritam pradahata sangvidmaye pavake. The burden of the past, all the sin and sorrow and suffering and regret and guilt, pradahata, burning it. Where? In the blazing fire of consciousness. Pure consciousness alone exists. Sometimes it appears as a nightmare, awful. Sometimes it appears as a great, wonderful dream, great. But all of them are nothing but the dreaming mind. Continuously pouring. So the sannyasis have this ritual that chidagno juhomi aham. Like the Brahmins will do the yajna, the fire ritual, offering into the fire, light a fire and offer it. Similarly, think of yourself as pure consciousness as that fire, and into which you are pouring the entire world, including, he says, bhutam bhavicha, whatever is in the past, which will give rise to the results in the present or the future. Whatever is yet to come in the future, I pour it all into it is all one consciousness only. It does not matter to me. He says, then how do I live? Prarabdhaya samarpitam swavapu. Prarabdha karma. There is a karma which is playing out in this life, which is why I have these parents, I have this body, I have this life, the up and down of it, and it will continue for some time. And then death will come for this body. I let this body, I submit this body to prarabdha karma. Let it play out. I have no problem at all. Let the movie play out till the end, as long as I know it's a movie. Otherwise, what will happen? It should be like this, it should not be like that. Even in movie also we feel, oh please let the hero win, let the villain not win. But whatever happens, we are okay with it because it's a movie. Similarly, in this life also, I keep on surrendering in Karma Yoga, in Bhakti Yoga, in Raja Yoga, in Jnana Yoga. Use all of these to overcome suffering. One sadhu said to me in the Himalayas, he was teaching Ashtavakra, which we will see tomorrow. He said, we were gathered at his feet, he says, हाथ में शस्त्र है महात्मा जी और दुश्मन से 2 थप्पड़ खा के रोते रोते आगे क्या मजा है महात्मा जी. You are well armed with swords and all this weaponry, range of weaponry, you are armed with all this knowledge. And then you get 2 slaps from the enemy. What's the enemy? Depression, unhappiness, guilt, regret, behavior of others. Somebody is rude to me, somebody is nasty to me. And then I come back, and it's like being slapped twice. I come back weeping. And then the monk says, what fun is there in that? Use these to combat the challenge which comes up in life. Then he says, Yatiriyang naradevataabhir ahamityanta sphuta grihyate yadbhasa hridayakshadeha vishaya bhanti swato achetana tam bhasyai pihitarka mandala nibham spurtim sada bhavayan yogi nirvrita manaso hi gurur ityesha manisha mama. He says, that one which from the little worm on the ground and in human beings and in the gods in the heavens, in every body mind system which continuously says I, that one consciousness which expresses itself to the ego, that I exist here, by whose light, yadbhasa, whose light in every system, the mind and the senses, hridayaksha deha vishaya bhanti, the mind is lit up, the senses are lit up, and through the mind and the senses the world is lit up. That light. Swato achetana. By itself these things do not reveal themselves. By itself the body and the senses do not reveal themselves. By itself the mind also doesn't reveal themselves. They are all revealed by you. You shining, all of them are revealed. By your light all this is lit up. Not even your light, you the light. Tam bhasye, that light, I don't experience it. You are like the sun hidden by clouds. Pihita arka mandala nibham. Just like the sun hidden by clouds, we think that the sun is hidden by clouds. The sun is not hidden by clouds. How can a little patch of cloud hide the vast sun which is bigger than the earth? It's our line of sight which is obstructed by the cloud. It is the intellect which is unable to grasp it. That obstructing cloud is also lit up by the sun. It's by the sunlight that we are seeing the cloud now. Similarly, spurtim sada bhavayan. So that same light which you are is lighting up even when you say, I don't understand all this. I don't see how I am Brahman. This itself is you are able to experience. Our own ignorance, our own limitation, we are able to experience because we are limitless consciousness. This is spurti, ever shining forth. Then sada bhavayan. Meditate on this. Notice it. Stay with it. Yogi nirvrita manasa. The mind will become inward of the yogi. And that yogi, Guru rityesha manisha mama. My conviction is that one is my guru. Let that person be Chandala or Brahmin or whatever. Last verse, the 5th one. Yat saukhyam budhilesha leshata ime shakradayo nirvrita yat chitte nitaram prashanta kalane labdhva munir nirvritaha yasmin nitya sukham budau galitadhi brahmaiva na brahmavet ya kaschit sa surendra vandita pado nunam manisha mama. That bliss which even the gods pine for, a bit of that bliss which even the gods pine for, that shines in the heart of this enlightened one. Prashanta kalane, the sage, the enlightened sage, in the heart of that enlightened sage which is peaceful, serene, shines that eternal bliss. Yasmin nitya sukham budau, in which the eternal ocean of bliss, which is your own real nature, galitadhi, once you have stepped away from the mind, your identification with the mind, What is the sign? Here is a beautiful phrase. Brahmaiva na brahmavit. I am Brahman, not the knower of Brahman. Our problem is we are trying to be the enlightened one, the one who knows Brahman. The one who says, I am Satchidananda. No. I am Satchidananda, that we are trying to do in order to overcome the idea that I am the body. But you are Brahman itself. You don't have to keep on saying that I am Brahman. Brahmaiva na tu brahmavit. You've heard of Nisargadatta Maharaj, who was in Mumbai. He used to sell bidis. Somebody said, you are a Brahmagyani, knower of Brahman. He was a rough man. I have never seen him, of course, long before my time. But I met people who have met him. So once a gentleman who met him told me. So I asked him, what was your experience? Well, I got scolded. So, he was a rough man. When somebody says, you are a knower of Brahman, he immediately is scolded and he said, I am not a knower of Brahman, you are insulting me. Insult, this is the highest praise in our civilization, that you are a knower of Brahman. No, I am not a knower of Brahman, I am Brahman. Here, Shankaracharya says, Brahmaiva, I am Brahman, not knower of Brahman. The moment we feel I am a knower of Brahman, it's already mixed, polluted by the mind. The mind trying to objectify Brahman, that's what's happening then. Then I am a knower of Brahman. Let that go also. That's an initial stage, it must be there. You're using the mind to become enlightened. But then, once we know what is being pointed towards, you can happily let the mind go. Let the mind go means not that the mind will die. You can use it for what it's meant for. Ya kaschit sa surendra vandita pada. Whoever it is, that one, he will be worshipped by the king of the gods, Surendra, Indra. That one is my guru. And this is my final conviction. Noonam manisha mama. This is my conviction. These are the 5 verses of wisdom of Shankaracharya. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.